What is going on, everyone, and welcome back to my channel for another Hot Toys unboxing and review video. Today we're going to be taking a look at Kang the Conqueror based on his appearance in the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Kang obviously was played by Mr. Jonathan Majors, which at this point we all know he is no longer part of the MCU, as well as Kang the Conqueror. And I did want to go ahead and touch based on Kang, actually Jonathan Majors right away. We obviously know the reasons why he is no longer part of the MCU, and I want to make sure that I'm clear about this. I hope this is the only time that I ever have to mention this in any of my videos. By me doing an unboxing of Kang the Conqueror, I promise you guys, I am in no way supporting what he has done. To me, I condemn all of those actions that he has committed, and to me, he deserves not to be part of the MCU anymore. So I want to make sure that I'm being clear that by me doing this unboxing, I am talking about Kang the Conqueror, the movie character, not Jonathan Majors, the human being. So again, I am in no support of that. Want to make sure I'm clear about that. To me, I am reviewing the character based on his appearance in the movie. So again, just wanted to get that out of the way, right? So that way there's no misunderstandings. But again, we are going to be taking a look at Kang. I did purchase them on Sideshow Collectibles. I will include the link to them on the description of the video in case you guys want to go ahead and purchase him. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started with the review. Okay, getting to the box design. So this box is beautiful. I love the design a lot. It looks great. I love the color schemes in it. Pretty much the background is surrounded in this kind of like hexagonal type of honeycomb type of background with a purple coloring to match the figure. We get some like missing parts right there where we can see the box beside this. We get the name of the figure at the bottom, and then we get this particle 3D logo in the middle with different images of Kang right there surrounding it. We do also get the name of the movie, of course, at the top. But sadly, we get this horrendous logo right here that, to me, it almost ruins the whole box for me. It looks hideous there. I don't understand why Hot Toys is putting these logos right there in the main cover. They did the same thing with Mark 80, which was the video that I did last time. Right here on the side of the box, we continue with that hexagonal background. We get a couple of green and purple color schemes along with those parts again that are kind of ripped off of the main box. We get the name of the figure as well. So again, everything else looks great. It's just that horrible warning sign. Speaking of the warning sign, here in the back, more warning and legal information. And as I mentioned before, right there at the top is where they could have put that ugly logo that they put in the top. So again, big miss in my personal opinion by Hot Toys, but everything else looks great. Again, the hexagonal background just looks beautiful. I really love the color scheme with this box. And then in the back, same thing as the other side. We get the name of the figure. We continue with that same background. And as I mentioned before, we get some parts that are kind of missing from that hexagonal type of honeycomb to show the box that is inside it, that does look translucent. So can't wait to see how it looks once we get on it. So I would say great box for sure. Love the design, the color scheme, but that warning logo to me does ruin it. But I would say off to a good start. Okay, now we get to the box underneath that main cover. This is the first time that I see Hot Toys do something like this, and it looks absolutely awesome. It's this kind of green translucent color surrounding the whole box. We get the name of the figure again and the name of the movie. I do wish they would have possibly added more details to the box design so that it would look much better. For some reason, it feels heavy. As you guys can see me there trying to slide the box, it's kind of hard to slide it. It's really heavy. Here on the sides, we get the name of the figure and then that particle logo again along with that green background. And in the back again, we continue with that hexagonal type of pattern in the background along with the name of the figure, the Hot Toys logo, and again the green translucent background where we can see the figure but not really. It's like we can only see kind of like shadows of it pretty much. Left side, same thing as the other side. So I would say good start. Wish they would have added more things to it, but it looks pretty good. At the bottom as well, the name of the movie, and at the top the name of the figure again. So let's go ahead and get to the figure now, which I am very excited to go ahead and get open. Again, we see the accessories there, so cannot wait to get started with this figure design. excuse me, I'm sorry, not design, but review. My apologies about that. So yeah, it was the green box that was making this figure even more heavy, because now that I just have the plastic cover on top of the figure, it's as light as a feather, right? It's pretty much as light as what we're accustomed to with other Hot Toys figures. So first in-hand impressions on Kang the Conqueror. So the guy, despite me saying that the box is as light as a feather, this guy is pretty heavy. Not super heavy to a point where, you know, just an example like a die-cast Iron Man, but I would say he's pretty hefty. But we are off to a really good start. That head sculpt is a question mark, and I will talk about it a little bit more in detail later on in the video. But I would say pretty much the rest of the suit looks great. I love the color schemes, and to me the design of the suit was phenomenal by not just Hot Toys but also the creators of the movie. I thought that they really did a good job of comparing it to the comics, and again I'll talk about that more a little bit later on in the video. So great start for the figure for sure. We'll definitely talk about it more in detail, but after this we'll do the accessories one by one. Again, as I mentioned before, we'll talk about the figure in detail. We'll do a couple of side-by-side comparisons, and of course at the end, posing and final thoughts. Okay, we get to the accessories where sadly we don't get a lot of things, but I think, as I always like to say, we get enough to be able to work with the figure. So we first get this big diamond display base. I think the only time that I've gotten a display base like this is with Thanos from Infinity War. So I really love the imagery on the display base. It's this kind of particle being broken into pieces. It has a scratchy surface, and I love this color schemes. The black and the green match very well. We get the name of the movie right there at the bottom, and then right there of course Kang as well. Now my only issue with the display base is that it's going to be very hard to display this big base on my display case with all the figures that I have there. It's just going to occupy too much space. We do also get a large flight pole with a waist clamp to surround the figure, and it is a pretty large flight pole, so we should be able to definitely pose the figure higher than we can usually do with other figures. We also do get this blue translucent disc. This is where we're going to stand the figure, as you guys can see with those two pieces right there, where we will install on the boots slash shoes of the figure. It has this kind of weird texture to it to show kind of like a energy type of feeling, I guess. That's what they went for, but it looks nice, and I'm glad that I'm gonna be able to pose the figure in that way. Now we get this small little neck piece that pretty much is gonna go install onto the neck of the figure, and I would assume that we're gonna use this part whenever we have the masked head sculpt for Kang, so that way we don't show skin and mask, we show mask and suit itself, right? It is kind of benty, and I would assume that we're just gonna install it over the ball joint. Now, speaking of the mask head sculpt, so we get a mask head sculpt for Jonathan Majors / Kang the Conqueror that looks really nice, and I will discuss more in detail. Just know that we do get two head sculpts. We get this one with the mask with the blue face, right, to represent that comic accurate look to the figure and the way that he looked in the movie. Again, as I mentioned before, to me it looks great, and I will talk about later on in the video which is my favorite look for the guy, which is either with the mask head sculpt or with this regular head sculpt that we get for Jonathan Majors. I've heard a lot of different opinions about the head sculpt. I'll share mine a little bit later on. We do thankfully get rotating eyeballs with the guy, so that will at least make it a little bit better, but I will make sure to discuss more in detail as to my opinion about this head sculpt. But just know that we get two different ones for the figure. We do get also these energy blast effects. This is the first time that I get an effect like this one. I usually get different effects for other figures, so this is the first time that I get, you know, effects like this, or we get effects like this. To me they do look really nice. My only complaint is that unfortunately we don't have any type of LED lights to turn these on, so what you see is what we get basically. So that's something that I wish they would have done, but just know that we do get one for each arm, and they do look nice, but I just wish they would have done a lighting effect. And then we do get 6 different pieces of hands. So we get these 2 right here. I cannot tell you guys how much I love these hands. So you guys can see the texture of the hands compared to the armor is completely different, so I can tell the hands are more like skin, not necessarily a glove. The color schemes are well done again and again. As I mentioned before, the texture is completely different from the hand compared to the actual armor itself. These hands right here are pretty much just to kind of show kind of open type of fighting motion. So either you guys can pose the energy blast on those display hands, or I'll show you guys a different pose a little bit later on with those hands. We do get closed fists as well, which is pretty much a norm for every single Hot Toys figure. I guess I mentioned before, the texture on the hands looks great, and I love how different different it looks compared to the armor itself. And then these ones right here came with the figure. I really like the I guess the display of it. It's kind of like a really normal motion. It's more like kind of semi-open, semi-closed type of pose, and I should be able to find a way to do a pose here and there with these hands. Just stay tuned to the end of the video to see what I got for you guys when it comes to the posing. So this would be for the accessories. To me, as I mentioned before, not a lot of things, but I think we get enough with the guy to be able to pose him in different ways. I would say off to a good start. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the accessories. Okay, getting to the figure, I did want to go ahead and talk about this guy in detail. Again, we're talking about Kang the Conqueror, not Jonathan Majors, right? Although, well, we have to talk about the head sculpt and if it looks like Jonathan Majors. So this main head sculpt, which is the one that comes with the figure, in my personal opinion, it is a good head sculpt, but I can't go great. I see Jonathan Majors from certain angles, but there's something about the eyes and the eyebrows that is just not it for me. It looks a little bit weird. I think they possibly put too much skin texture, so it's like too kind of man, if I could say the word greasy type of look to the face sculpt. I know it's a weird take, but it just looks weird, and I really don't like the facial expression. I understand that they wanted to go kind of like with this mean look, but to me it's more like a kind of lifeless type of a facial expression, and to me I do kind of have an issue with that. Also the neck, man, the neck is super thick in my personal opinion. I think the neck is a little bit too thick, and it kind of, you know, connects weird to the head sculpt. Now the nose, lips, ears, hairpiece, to me they're fine. So I think it's a good head sculpt, but not a great one. Now the suit itself, so pretty much the purple part that you guys see here is pretty much sculpted plastic that goes connected to the figure. This part right here in the middle is the only thing that can move from the suit. Either you guys can extend it further to make the suit a little bit more flexible, or you guys can just leave it the way that I have it right there. Now the rest of the suit, the green part, is this kind of, you know, I would say not sticky, but more like a type of, it makes me think of Venom. Basically, I'll put it to you guys this way. So it's this rubbery material, right, that I am really concerned about, because I feel like when it comes to posing, I am gonna have a hard time. But we'll see, you know, once we get to that part, how it's gonna look. But pretty much everything is surrounded of that rubbery material, and the purple parts is sculpted plastic to show that armor. As I mentioned before, Hot Toys and also the creators of the movie Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania did a fantastic job with this suit design. It is very accurate to the comics. The color schemes are phenomenal. It is one of my favorite suits that I've ever gotten by Hot Toys, and to me they did a really good job of doing the suit itself. Again, the rubbery material looks great. The pattern surrounding the suit looks good as well. It's like we get this kind of hexagonal type of background to the suit itself. So again, as you guys can see, lower part where his legs are, again, the purple and the green parts match very well, and that fabric is nicely done. Now the boots themselves are pretty much sculpted plastic as well, and I'm really glad about that. We get no pleather when it comes to this guy, so I don't think well, so far I don't have any fears as far as, you know, not being able to pose the guy or damaging the suit in any way. I think, again, as I mentioned before, the materials that Hot Toys has decided to use for this specific figure are great, and to me everything looks really, really good, as I mentioned before. I did want to go ahead and switch the head sculpt a little bit later on with the mask head sculpt to show you guys which one is better. On the back, that armory continues, right, where pretty much the cape is kind of attached underneath it. Now this cape, to me, I think it's my favorite cape that I've ever received. Now, I want to make it clear, I haven't received a lot of figures with capes, but from the ones that I have received, this is my favorite as far as the look. Not necessarily posing or how easy it is to work with, just the look of it you know, is what I'm talking about. So the pattern, the fabric that it is made out of, it looks excellent to me. It looks beautiful. I love how it looks. Underneath it, I like the fact that they continue with the suit and it looks exactly as it is in the front, so they didn't really skip any detailing. And also just note that the cape does have two wires, one on the left and one on the right. No wiring in the middle, so that is one of my regrets, but to me the cape looks good as well. So let's go ahead and put the rotating eyes on the guy, so that way you guys can see the differences, to see if it makes the head sculpt a little bit better, right? As to me, this is a good head sculpt, but not a great one. Okay, so it looks good. It makes it a little bit different, but still in all, I can't get rid of the shape of the eyes and the eyebrows. It's again, it's a good head sculpt. I can see Jonathan Majors, but I do think it's kind of a mess. I just don't know what it is. If you guys can help me out in the comments, I think it's the eyes, I think it's the eyebrows, but I don't know, maybe it's something else, because I really don't see any issues with the lips or nose or the skin texture or the ears. So it's got to be the eyes. But this is how it looks with rotating eyes. Let me go ahead and get the mask to see if it's a better look for the guy. Okay, so before I do put on the head sculpt on the figure, I did want to go ahead and touch on this. So the way that we're gonna go ahead and install the batteries, well, first and foremost, let me talk about the head sculpt. This is beautiful. This is by far my favorite accessory of the whole figure, and it's because of the eyebrows. As you guys can see, the eyebrows itself, they have a different shape to it, and it makes the figure look even better. Or actually, I'm sorry, the head sculpt itself. Now with the batteries, this is where it goes attached. So if we remove that part where the ball joint is, we pretty much can turn on the lighting effect, and as you guys can see there, it looks really nice. Although I don't think it's needed, because to me, I feel like the eyes are already white themselves, so I don't think it's needed. And as you guys can see, oh yeah, no question about it, by far my favorite look of the figure. It looks absolutely awesome. It makes me think of the comics, and it just matches very well with the rest of the suit. So now if I turn off the lights, you guys can see the lighting effect is noticeable right there. I'm not sure why it looks so dark, my apologies. Okay, there we go, the light is back on. So well, the lighting of my room, but to me, it looks awesome. By far the better look on the figure. Let me know in the comments if you guys agree with me, or if you guys think that the regular Kang head sculpt looks better on the guy. But without question, to me, it looks awesome. The head sculpt matches very well, and again, the facial expression, this time we can see a rude, kind of mean look to Kang. Now with the articulation, so pretty much the legs, as I always like to try first onto the back. They do move pretty nicely, and the suit does bend a little bit, but not too much where I can be concerned. Now sadly, the material of the suit does limit us when it comes to the sideway portion of the legs. As you guys were able to see there, the boots themselves are connected via a ball joint to the leg itself, as you guys can see there. And well, as you guys were able to see, I just detached the foot from the actual leg itself, so that ball joint is pretty much there to connect it. And the good thing about the ball joint is that I am able to pretty much switch the foot in any way I want to. As I mentioned before, right, with the legs, they can only move but so much to the front and to the sides because of that suit, and the last thing that I want to do is ruin it in any way. So I think I just prefer to leave it as it is. To the sides, it doesn't really move a lot either. To the front, it does go all the way till there, and to the back, it goes all the way till, I would say, there pretty much. Again, I don't want to, risk it and break anything from the suit or the figure, but just know it goes all the way there. So with the arms, this is where my concern was. So as you guys were able to see right there, it only stretches but so much to the sides. The elbows do bend nicely, but again, to the sides, it's going to be a struggle to move the hand in any position because of the suit itself. Now I completely understand. Again, Hot Toys has to be as accurate as they possibly can be with the suit, so I completely understand if they're not able to have the hands extend as much as they possibly can. The head sculpt as well is pretty much installed in a ball joint, so same thing, we're able to pretty much twist it any way we want to. Also to the front, to the sides, again, it goes all the way till there, and to the other side, same thing, it goes all the way to the front there, and to the top all the way till there. And so I would say the head sculpt is pretty flexible, right? No issues with it at all. Hence, same thing, right? They're installing that little ball joint, so they will pretty much be able to turn any way you guys want to. So figure itself looks absolutely amazing. Without question, this is the best look to it. I love the head sculpt, the mask head sculpt, along with the whole suit. To me, this is an amazing figure in my personal opinion. Okay guys, one thing before we do get to the side-by-side comparison. So I wanted to show you guys the disc and the way that it is connected onto the figure itself. So obviously there's two holes on the shoes that go connected onto the disc. So one thing that I wanted to talk about is my concern when it comes to posting the thing. So the body proportions are good but not great. So for example, as you guys can see there, it bends pretty easily to the back. So I'm scared that if I post the figure with the disc itself, it's it's gonna fall to the back pretty easily. So just make sure that once you guys post the figure on the disc, there's kind of like this forward tilt that you guys give the figure, so that way it doesn't fall. But this is his look with the disc on it. It looks pretty awesome, I'm not gonna lie, but just kind of a concern that I had with it. Okay, a couple of side-by-side comparisons. So at the time of me recording this video, I sadly still have not gotten other figures from the movie. Obviously there was Ant-Man and the Wasp, as well as MODOK. So I'm not able to compare Kang to other figures from that movie. Also, I don't have a Loki, I don't have previous Ant-Man figures, so I thought the best route to go was with other villains from the MCU. So obviously my Thanos from Infinity War. It's very funny to see the difference in heights right between these two characters, but obviously the big similarity is that Thanos was the main villain in phase 1, 2, 3, and also 4. Mr. Kang himself was supposed to be for 5 and 6 as well, but because of Mr. Jonathan Majors and his legal issues, right, Kang is no longer part of the MCU. So I want to make it clear, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, in no way am I supporting Jonathan Majors, and as far as what he did, I condemn everything that he did. But I can't lie, as a Marvel fan, I had really loved his appearance, his acting, not just in Ant-Man, but also in Loki season 1 and 2. The fact that he's no longer going to be back, it is a disappointment to me. I really like the character Kang, and I love his acting on it. But again, obviously, there's things that are more important than just movies. So obviously Marvel had to make a decision here. But I did want to go ahead and make a comparison between these two guys. I wonder if we're ever going to get a Thanos 2.0. Obviously this is a great figure, but it would be nice to get an upgrade. But this would be the first side-by-side comparison between these two guys. And then the second comparison, well, my other MCU villain is Vision, Infinity Ultron from Marvel's What If. So I unfortunately don't have the regular Ultron figure from the Avengers Age of Ultron. Hopefully one day I get a chance at buying the guy, but unfortunately we have to resort to this with Infinity Ultron from that movie. I want to make it clear, I'm not hating on the fact that Doom is going to be the main villain of phase 5 and phase 6. I am a huge Doom fan, and I'm very excited to see RDJ as Doom, but I hope one of these days we make Infinity Ultron into an actual live-action main villain, because my god, was he great in that What If series. Him and Kang compared side by side, obviously there is no comparison. Infinity Ultron is the much more powerful character, but I did want to make at least this comparison, since these are two of the biggest MCU villains that there is, right? Again, just like with Thanos, it's funny to see the height difference between the two characters, and I will post Kang next to Infinity Ultron and to Thanos, since those are my MCU villains that I have in my collection. Okay guys, and now final thoughts and poses for Kang the Conqueror from Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So overall, to me, this is an amazing figure. I really like this figure. I know that there was a lack of accessories with the guy, and to me, I do believe the Jonathan Majors head sculpt is decent at best, not great, but I would go decent. I do see Jonathan Majors from certain angles, so that's why I can't go bad, but I do think that there was a miss with the eyes and the eyebrows, but at least we get that second mask head sculpt that pretty much makes up for it, and to me that is a perfect head sculpt in my personal opinion, the one with the blue mask and purple armor. But to me, this is an amazing figure. It's just very unfortunate that because of the things that happen, we are not going to get Kang anymore in the MCU. I thought that again, and I'm just talking about the acting, not necessarily the human being. I thought that Jonathan Majors did an amazing job as Kang, not just in this movie but also in the Loki seasons 1 and 2. So I was really looking forward to seeing this guy in action. But again, obviously there's more important things than just movies, so I understand why Marvel did what they did, and now we look to Mr. Doom itself, and I'm very excited about that as well. We'll see what we have coming up in the future. But again, overall, this is an amazing figure. I really like the head sculpt. I love the color schemes, the suit itself, the design is amazing. It is really comic accurate, and I just love the look. I'm very happy to have this guy in my collection. So before I do end the video, please let me know in the comments, guys, what you guys think about this figure, which is the better look, and if you guys are going to go ahead and pick him up, or if you guys already got him. If you guys are going to pick him up, I will include the link to Sideshow Collectibles in case you guys want to go ahead and purchase him. I'm not sure if he is available, but I will at least include the link if you guys want to join either the waitlist or purchase the guy. Before I do end the video, guys, as always, very thankful for the support. Thank you for watching all of my videos. If it is the first time that you're watching me, as always, want to invite you to subscribe to my channel and hit the notifications bell so that way you stay updated anytime that I drop an unboxing and review video on my channel. Also, I will include the links to TikTok and Instagram so that way you guys can check out the images that I have posted of the guy. Make sure you guys follow me there so that way you stay updated with anything that's coming up from my channel, as well as images for the figure. I also wanted to thank you guys. I am very close once again to hitting the 1,000 subscriber mark. Just know that once I do, there is an upcoming figure giveaway, as well as a new collection tour 2.0 for my room. So again, make sure to subscribe to my channel. So once again, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this Kang the Conqueror unboxing and review, and I will see you next time.